Caroline here. I just wanted to chat today about the story behind my name, my business name, Winged Flight Jewelry. So when I started this business, I was really inspired by this organization called Wind Over Wings. And it was a nonprofit run by a woman who took in birds of prey from the wild that could no longer live in the wild due to injuries. Everything from a saw-whet owl, which is the smallest owl in New England, about the size of a robin, up to a golden eagle. And she would bring these birds to programs at libraries and other places, and each bird has its own story. And so she would bring each bird out one at a time and tell the bird's story. And I found it so amazing what these birds went through. And sorry, I have notes here. And you know, as these stories were being presented, I was amazed at the determination of these birds to survive and thrive despite all of the challenges that they had, and how resilient they were. And they were really, authentic versions of themselves. And that was really inspiring to me. And so I decided to call my business name Winged Flight Jewelry. I make my jewelry in small batches. I don't make a lot. I really celebrate individuality, and I want to bring joy to people. I want people to be able to find a piece of jewelry I make that, really brings them a lot of joy and allows them to really embrace and celebrate themselves as their authentic selves, as it were. So, and 20% of every purchase supports either education, animal rescue, or environmental protection. And these three causes seem to kind of go full circle, in my opinion. I mean, animal rescue, obviously, Wind Over Wings was a great example of that. The organization did end in 2017 when the owner retired after 27 years. And it was a nonprofit. I don't know if I said that, but so animal rescue, obviously I got my dogs and my cats from animal shelters. And with Wind Over Wings, they were educating. Hope, the founder, was educating people about these birds, and education in general of our youth, of our young people is so incredibly important. And then environmental protection. I mean, if we're not protecting the natural environment that we live in, then in this case, the birds, to give one specific example, aren't going to be able to thrive, the birds of prey. So yeah, I think it's very important to support these causes. And I was doing some research. I wanted to see if I could find any interesting articles about Wind Over Wings. And I did actually learn one thing from an article done back in, looking at it here, 2011 actually. And they said that Quote, "We have a very unique way of training. We get library books and read to them. By reading to the birds, the owner said it helps the birds become more comfortable and trusting around people." So I am a librarian. I work in a converted one-room schoolhouse library, and I clearly think library books are so important, and I thought that was fabulous. I did not know that. And this was when 2011 was when she was when this article was written, was when she was moving from, I believe it was Connecticut. Yes. Connecticut. Yeah, she was moving from Connecticut to Maine. She moved to Dresden, Maine with her birds. Organization moved, rather. So, and I also just wanted to share one of my favorite birds in her program was Pippin, and he was a saw-whet owl. Once again, his species is the smallest owl in New England, about the size of a robin. And I just wanted to show his photo. So here he is. And he's just absolutely adorable. They think that he flew into a window and he lost eyesight. I don't know if it was in one or both of his eyes, and so he couldn't fly. So that's how he ended up with them. But yeah, I was really inspired by this organization and how the birds presented themselves, and it was just really, really cool. So it made quite an impression on me. So yeah, it was just a really, really neat organization. So yeah. Okay, so that was day 7, and if you guys have any other questions, I can try to give more information about Wind Over Wings. Like I said, the founder retired in 2017. So, but yeah, support your local animal rescues, because they do, whether it's an animal shelter or a bird aviary, they do wonderful, wonderful things for the wildlife around us. So yeah. And with that, I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow.